Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLeSh's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable, and you will see we are back. Yes, we are back to our usual four. I have my three ladies back with me. Of course, to my side here, we have Lady G, looking wonderful as always, with some kind
always
of
never lets us down, Lady G.
Something going on. Down here we have Sheila, Celtic Tarot, whose hair is looking even more bountiful and bouncy.
It's magnificent hair, isn't
That's
it?
called humidity.
She's had a big thunderstorm has come and she's gone like this, yeah?
I can't do nothing about it.
Indeed. But who do we have back? Of course, down under. We have Lena is back from her adventures and travels. Now, obviously, we've got a lot to cover in the show. I've got 3 pages of questions. Obviously, I'll do my best to one-card pulls and all of that stuff. I've also got an announcement towards the end of the show that I want to share with everyone, even in these crazy times. But first of all, Lena, since you've been away for 2 weeks, she says she's missed us. What have you been up to, my dear?
Well, I used to live in Sydney. So when I go up there, I always have a good time with family and friends. And here's a shout out to Beekeeper Tarot, who's in the comments. Makes the best honey in the world with the organic bees. Mm-hmm. And the queen bee is called Lena. You've got to love that. And I think he has another hive, and the queen bee is Beyonce. So I'm up there. Hi, Helen.
Brilliant.
We've got a couple of Australians in the comments here.
Oh, lovely. We've got a few Aussies in. Well, as you guys know, as everyone will know, and I mean, just like, wow, the world. But one of the things I want to say is this: as the dark gets stronger, so too the light will get brighter. Yeah. We always need to remember that the majority of people do not want this, all of this craziness that is going on. And you know how I was saying how Saturn entering into sidereal Pisces, you know, I said it would be reality check after reality check after reality check. Yeah. And I said it might be even more crazy than COVID. Well, here we are. Yeah.
That's
so right. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into the questions. I've not had my usual time to kind of flip through and all of this stuff because I've been launching a new website and a new retreat. So I'll share that screen with you guys later on in the show, just to have a completely different energy and let you know good things are happening in the world. But the first 2 I've identified, I think we need to talk about Xi Jinping and Jeff Bezos, and then we'll just get into the stuff. So this one has come in, this question has come in from, and this will be a 1-card pull. Kevin Hickman has said, reports from China indicate Xi Jinping is being eased out and replaced by a 2-man leadership team as head of the Chinese Communist Party. What do you read on this and what it means for the future? Yeah, so we don't know if this has been established. As we know, the CCP is famously secretive about certain things, especially leadership. But is Xi Jinping going to be replaced? Yeah, 1-card pull. And let me just put my phone, on airplane mode, so I don't get the beepity beeps. All right, let's see. Xi Jinping. Oh, Lady G, you're ready in a flash.
Yeah,
time to shuffle. Xi Jinping. Okay, let me just feel the card. Xi Jinping here. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Strangulation.
Bloody hell, my God. Sheila's card is quite ominous, but Lena, you're first back, right? Your newest back. You first, and then we'll go anti-clockwise.
Well, here is China, having to make this decision. And which way will they go? The fact that we even have heard about it means it must be quite advanced as an idea, because they don't leak per se. So this is very unusual. So whether this will be good or bad, we will all live to see it, but it's definitely in a state of flux and there is change on the horizon.
Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Entertainment purposes only. These are my true crimes. So they get a little theatrical. But I do think that this probably says that they're doing things to get him out.
Yes.
To end his presidency. So I wouldn't have believed it. In fact, when you said it, I kind of had that feeling like, I don't know. And then my card. Yeah. So now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they might be something going on.
Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I think it may happen because we have the card of justice here. Now we know that Xi Jinping, all of China, they've been doing these tofu places they've been building, and then people locked out of their homes and losing their properties, and I mean all sorts of things going on. So yeah, I think they want to get rid of him.
Wow. And I've got my card here, but just before I give my interpretation, just to throw in a bit of the astrology. At the moment, K2, the south node of the moon, and K2 is headless, by the way, is decapitated. Yep, snip, is well remembered, is going through the sign of Leo, which deals with leadership, global leadership. K2 can deal a lot with endings. So I can't remember which video I said it, but I said, look, guys, this could be a time where we see global figures, careers coming to an end. But this is also a time when we could see more spiritual leaders come to prominence, because K2 is also spirituality. Leo is leadership. Here, I've got the Knight of Pentacles. So for me, what this says is this is a slow and steady takeover. If it is a takeover, it's a slow and steady one. In China, there's still a lot of decorum when it comes to public. I mean, look, basically, when they kill you or slit your throat or poison you, they usually do it behind closed doors. But you will never see fisticuffs and open conflict, direct conflict within the CCP. There was this thing where they got some senior general and they kind of shuffled him off to the side, and that was considered really over the top. So if they're doing it, they're going to do it slowly but surely. But this card can also talk about the mercenary, so it's probably getting a lot of support maybe from big business somewhere, or all these businesses that are failing, because China is growing, but as Lady G was saying, there's been huge problems with housing and all of these unoccupied homes, and there's so much in China that is not even reported. So slow and steady, they're going to try and shuffle him out the door rather than blow him up, Anything to add to that, ladies?
Because he's not that old and they're normally there for life, so something has to be afoot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so that's Xi Jinping. Now let's talk about the subject of marriage. Yeah?
Oh, must we?
Yes. Well, ladies, you may well know that a certain Jeff Bezos is married. Yeah, he's getting married. Yeah. So Nick Minx has asked the question, and it says, Bezos has taken over Venice for his wedding. What do the cards show up for him and his future? So what's going on with Jeff Bezos? Of course, oligarch who was at the inauguration, gave Melania some documentary. I'm not sure if anyone watched it, but she made millions out of it. What's going on with him, especially has been one of the biggest supporters of Trump? Let's see. What's going on with Jeff?
Well, there's also been protests in Venice. And massive protests in
Yeah.
Venice by Venetians who were not happy with being taken over for an oligarch's wedding. And in fact, some activists threatened, he wanted an original venue right in the heart of ancient Venice. And they said, if you do that, we will put inflatable crocodiles in the canals to stop the boats of the guests.
They've been funny. The protests are being absolutely hilarious.
And another, I don't know if they can actually do that. But also a huge sign that you can see from space saying, if you can afford to rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw that too.
That is so Italian. That is so Italian.
They had fake mannequins on the Venice boats. They were the fake mannequins of the husband and wife on the boats. They got it going on.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing. So shall we do this as a one card pull and then ask Shakespeare about Jeff Bezos? Because I don't think we've done it yet, believe it or not. So let's do a one card pull. What's in the fates for old Jeff Bezos? Yeah, with his Venetian way. I love that. Inflatable crocodiles. That is so Italian. Okay, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
So these are my Russian cards.
Yeah.
They are.
I don't know that he'd recognize his wife in a lineup of other models. This is
Lena.
I don't care. See, this well-heeled gentleman is very preoccupied and the pretty woman's in the background. So it's all about me. It's all about me.
About him. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Oh, yeah.
How do I get that one big deck? I'll never know. The crime and passion.
Oh my! Could it be deadly a wedding night? Deadly wedding night. Oh my gosh! You gotta have some laughs.
You've got to have some laughs in the madness.
You gotta have some laughs.
That is right.
Self-explanatory.
Crime of passion. All right, Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, he just feels like they're all against him and he's pushed to the edge and he's not going to have a great time with his wedding because he's just having to, fight back against everything.
Yeah. Great.
Isn't that
What have you
interesting?
got? 3.
So interesting. Wow. I get the 3 of wands. It's not wands, pentacles. This is a card of what? Collaboration, yeah? Collaboration, but working on some kind of shared plan. Some kind of shared endeavor. What this says to me is that there's more to this wedding than meets the eye. I think this I think he's trying to use it potentially as a PR stunt. Maybe it would also this would also suggest as well that there might be a lot of big business reasons behind this wedding as well. There in Italy, he's probably going to gather up a lot of business guests that would be guests to the wedding. Do you see what I mean? It's just an excuse to get everyone round. Hey, look at my bride, with her boobs are obviously going to be up to here. She's probably going to come down the aisle wearing sheer lace based on previous outfits. But this says to me, I think it's actually got a lot. This wedding is a lot to do with business, not just getting married. He's got to have a lot of business people there and a lot of business deals. So
yucky poo. Ivanka's gone. She's gone to the wedding.
Oh really? And did you notice not one of us got the marriage card? We didn't get the 2 of cups.
No cups.
No love. Nothing. And my mother used to tell me, Sheila, the more you spend on the money, the less love there is at the wedding.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yep.
Yes.
Because the more money,
Go, Mama.
Right. Let's ask the bard. Yeah, let's ask the bard what he thinks of Jeff Bezos. Now, who went last time? But I'm trying to think. Probably it should be Lena because she's been gone for a couple of weeks. Yeah, do you reckon? Yeah. All right. So let's do it because I can't remember who it was last time. Actually, we got David to do it, didn't we?
Yep.
All right. So here we go.
Bezos.
Let's see what the bard says about Bezos.
Ready, stop.
Ooh. Oh, very interesting. I've not really heard this one. Okay, right. I think we've got one for Bezos, and the next page could be talking about the wife. Yeah. All right. So this is from Othello. So the bard says, "'Tis the trumpet's plague to beguile many and be beguiled by one." Yeah.
Oh, the strumpet.
"'Tis the strumpet's plague." Now, a strumpet is often referred to as a loose woman. This is a bit, yeah? "'Tis the strumpet's plague to beguile many and be beguiled by one." So I have a feeling this is kind of talking a bit more about the wife.
Yes.
Talking more about her. This isn't really about Bezos.
Yeah.
And then look at the next page. On the next page, it says, "She's a bed swerver."
Oh,
From The Winter's Tale.
There's nothing wrong with being a bed swerver. Don't get me wrong.
No slut shaming here.
Exactly. No shaming here.
No, but it's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah. And on the next page, it says, "Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all." So I don't know.
I've known a few dissembling harlots in my day, and I've probably been called one. But I think the wedding is going to be fascinating in itself, if you get what I mean.
I do. Well, beguiling is the narrative. It says beguiling into the trust and con artist, tricked or deceived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. "It is the strumpet's plague to beguile many and be beguiled by one." This is talking about the wife.
Yeah.
It's so talking about the wife. And I will just add, Leonardo DiCaprio is also there. So, you know, I'm just saying there will be a few distractions.
But isn't it funny that we said, let's read on Bezos?
Yes.
And it's not about him at all.
No, it's about her.
About the wife.
And
Wow.
the future of the marriage in general terms.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm wondering what question to read on next. Let's see here. Oh,
I'm sorry,
God.
I've got to. Somebody says that she's a Tamu bride.
Tamu bride.
Temu. What? Temu.
A Tamu.
Temu. Shopping like a billionaire, isn't it? That's their slogan, isn't it? Shopping. I'm shopping like a billionaire, isn't it? And she's going like, Temu. Bless. Wow.
I know.
Oh,
And she can barely eat with those lips. But anyway, moving on.
So if we look here, I'm trying to think, let's see. Oh gosh, there's so many incredible questions here. A lot of them very profound, as you can imagine. What do the cards say? Okay, well this will be very relevant. This is very relevant. So Denise Ferguson has asked, what do the cards have to say about the Israel and Iran conflict over the next 30 days, and what part will the US play? Very fair question.
May as well go
very
there.
relevant. Let's do.
Sorry, there's a comment here just before we move on from the Bezos. It's from Norm Gilbert. They were both married when she started bed swerving.
Do you know, you see, that's how it goes. And this is what I love about this, because you never can be sure what the bard will say. And just like with the tarot, you may ask a direct question, but you get the
and it goes there for a reason.
and it was just all about her. So there we are. Well, good luck to her. She's obviously played her cards right, hasn't she? You know, all of her tactics have worked. Let's make this the first full card pull.
Yeah.
Because this is, of course, a serious and complicated and unfolding situation, and I would like to see your full talents on display, ladies. So what do the cards have to say about the Israel and Iran conflict over the next 30 days, and what part will the US play? Oh, gosh.
Mm.
Let's see here. I'm trying. The cards are getting so clammy. Israel, Iran. God, what a disaster scenario.
Mm.
And for all those, people that were unrepentant Trump voters, are you happy now? Yeah. Gosh. Be interesting to see what you get. And as ladies, then
okay, I can kick off if you want, Hoagie.
Go for it.
Well, the Emperor is usually my trump card. I was thinking for a moment it could be all the leaders, but I don't think so. I think it is talking about Trump himself, who's very confused, literally. So he's confused because he's not used to being embarrassed on the world stage like he's been in the last couple of days. Now, Israel is projecting strength here with this strength card, but this is a karmic moment in history. It's going to inform for all of us, I think, the next 10, 20 years of what's going to go on in the Middle East, and therefore impacting the world because of oil. Then we have legal challenges. I think this is at a big level. I think that's probably at an international level. They've all broken every, rule about war and bombing and nuclear weapons themselves, because Israel's nuclear secret stash is never talked about. And I think there might be a legal thing around that. I think people are going to get fired up. I don't think this is in America. I think this is more in the Middle East. And I can only describe it as a juggling act going forward. So if we're talking about the next 30 days, there it is. It's a juggling act, a tightrope walk.
Wow. Are you finished, Lena? Yeah?
I'm finished.
All right. Sheila, how do you interpret your cards?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, I did get the mind control and the stingy right off the bat. So it's not about Iran having something. It's what Iran won't give up. And there's a lot of Iran stinginess, right? The stingy. They won't give up a control over that strait where all of the oil comes, a lot of the oil comes through. They won't give up their precious minerals. They won't give up their land. They won't give up. So they're trying to mind control them right out of it. And between Israel and between Trump, this is how they're just big old huge bullies with nukes, with bullets. And this one right here is the patience. So what's going to happen is they're going to really start steady pace towards what they want. And while they're doing that, Trump's going to take his celebrity card and play it around. Look what I did. Look what I did. Look what I did. However, there's going to be a serious moment. There's going to be a moment here in the next 30 days that there's going to be some severe judgment and some regret. So there's going to be an incident that it's not going to be pleasing to us or to them or to anybody. And I have a feeling it says social media. Of course, he's going to lie about it. The fake profile, the fake information. But And my cards are kind of indicating, my first thought when I was doing this, and I have to say this before we move on, is that Netanyahu really wants control over that oil strait. Just like they wanted control over the canal. I think it seems like everything's starting to connecting the dots. You know, Trump wants Iceland. Trump wants the Panama Canal. Netanyahu wants the strait. That, what is it called? That one where the oil.
Strait of Hormuz. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of these ports. They see so much power in them, and I got that indication. I was just sitting down here in my basement. I'm like, oh, he wants that. They all want that. That's the reason why Trump is doing what he's doing, and Netanyahu is doing what he's doing. They get that, they have control over everything.
Yes, which is what I was saying. It comes back to oil.
Yes, it does. Yes, exactly.
Seemingly about nuclear.
Yeah, so that's what I got in mind. But there's going to come a moment where everybody's going to regret some sort of decision, and a lot of judgment's going to happen.
All right. Lady G, what do you have for us? What cards do yours show?
Well, the reading's about, what's being worked on, but really not being thrilled with it. We're going to have some difficulties because, it's about the money, it's about profiting, and that's going to be overturned in some way. So they're not going to get the profits they want. Of course, Trumpenstein wants to go forward, and be seen as the big poobah, that I've brokered peace and I've done this and I've done that and all his nonsense. But the challenge is going forward. The next actions are going to bring a lot of judgment. And of course, he's not going to listen to a thing, and he's going to just continue to go forward and do what he does. And I think this is his little parrot over here that's going to continue to talk about the actions according to what Trump's desires are, So just a big brouhaha of just a lot of BS. He's the most fabulous. He's done the best deal ever. And, all of that stuff is going to go on. But it's not going to bode well in the next 30 days.
Gosh. I mean, what times that we live in. I mean, it's so extraordinary. Let's see. What's it? Connie B here is saying, did y'all see Lady G's drive into Mogollon mining town? Pretty cool. What's that, Lady G? Do you mind explaining?
Yeah, I went this morning. Yes. I was on my way back. Yes.
Oh, fabulous. You see, we love to travel around. I mean, we're kind of like ferrets in a bag, really, aren't we? If I'm not away, Lena is. And if Lena's not away, then Lady G is.
All of us.
Sheila, you'll be next. Oh, well, you're traveling. Didn't you say you're traveling somewhere?
Yeah, I'm going to Chicago. That's where my son lives there in Chicago, and his wife and granddaughter, and so I'm going to travel. I'm always traveling. I sneak out of town anytime I can.
Right. Good for you. And at the moment we have 2,370 of you with us right now. So thank you so much for joining us. Please be sure to like and subscribe and share, press the bell notification and all that jazz. And I hope, even though we are in these extraordinarily kind of dark and complicated times, that we've been able to give you a little bit of levity mixed in with the serious news, because we all need a bit of a giggle and a laugh, even more so as things kind of get darker. With my cards here, next 30 days, Middle East. One thing I'm glad I don't have in my deck is the Tower. So I'm glad that's not there, and there's no death cards. So let's just hope that things can be a bit more benign. If we look here, we've got the Queen of Swords here, which can speak about more rational heads, but we are talking about Trump and all of this, cabal of really not very good people, to be honest. But this can also be remember, this card is sharp. This the air, swords symbolize air, communication, but there can also be a harshness to the language. So I think this is a little bit of Duck L'Orange. Remember when they asked him when he was about to step onto, what is it, the helicopter? What do you think of Israel and Iran? And there was some expletives that came out. I think that's probably one of the first times we've heard a president of the United States certainly do a big old bleep. However, if that's how he felt, it's kind of like, dude, maybe you shouldn't have meddled around in the first place. Yeah, but you were thinking about your bloody resort, weren't you? Anyway, if we look here, we do see some verbal opposition, at least, you know, tremors in the ranks in terms of MAGA and stuff like that. However, unfortunately, because many of them don't have convictions, as they repeatedly teach us on iHip News, they're trying to rally round and make excuses for Duck L'Orange and all of this rubbish. Yeah, but there is a voice. There's certainly voice of opposition, particularly from the youth as well. If you look here, though, someone is going to keep trying to drive forward with this. I suspect it will be Netanyahu. Do you remember how Trump announced the ceasefire and then it was immediately broken? So, yeah, that wasn't good, was it? So we got someone here who's wanting to express their will, drive forward. But this can also speak about Iran. This can also speak about Russia. One kind of who's known to be very kind of warlike is one of Putin's advisors said, we should give Iran a nuclear weapon, bomb NATO and Poland while we're at it as well. My goodness. So we do have a lot of people here who are chomping at the bit. However, if we look, we get the four of cups. Now, this isn't a card of speed, thank goodness, but it's about debating, reflecting, trying to see what options are on the table, but not really liking which one, and then maybe choosing something out of the sky. So I am hoping that there are many interventionist phone calls, diplomacy, everyone pulling strings to try and tamper this down. Nuclear bomb is not good for anyone. But what Trump has done is so outrageous, everyone is emboldened to basically say, well, I can bomb this place and that place. And if we look here, the outcome card is the King of Wands. So again, this can be a card talking about passion. I think this is talking about, you know, leaders in general in the Middle East. Anyone who's feeling fired up. Maybe I should pull a clarifier on that. Actually, 1 minute. Let's get a clarifier. I don't normally do a clarifier, but it's a clarifier on that King of Wands. Oh, look. Money. Isn't it always the same?
Always. You'd like to think it was something else, but it never
you
is.
like to think it's altruistic. Remember, wands deal with what? Fire, flames, heat. It's going to do hot places, Middle East. What's it all about? The money. The money. People are making money off the war, and there's deals being done in the background, and then, yeah, this could also be Trump accepting backhanders and all of that kind of stuff as well. So money is at the heart of it. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on? No? Good? All right. So we're going at good pace. Let's go. This is going to be a one-card pull. So this is coming from Fizzlers. Thanks, Fizzlers, so much for your question. All right. When Elon implicated Trump with the Epstein files, Trump deflected with the ICE raids. Bibi proceeded to go on a rampage against Iran. Epstein almost certainly was an Israeli agent / asset. In fact, he was working for Israeli Secret Service, isn't it? I can't remember what the name is, but he was part of their Secret Service, almost like a spy in a way. My question is, does Bibi have the Epstein files? Of course he does. Everyone's got them. Is this his hold on Trump? Love you all so much. Delighted our Aussie Irish Queen of Snark is back, she says. So basically, does Bibi have something on Duck L'Orange? And I think we need to ask the Bard what he thinks about Bibi. Yeah, but that's the question. One card pull.
One card pull first on what?
Yeah, does Bibi have something on Trump?
Does Bibi have something on Trump?
And then we'll ask the bard what he thinks of Bibi, which is Netanyahu, just in case you guys are wondering. Does Bibi have something on Trump? And if he does, it's something serious. Something very serious. Let's see. Does Bibi have something on Trump? Let's go here. All right. When you're ready, we'll go after 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at Sheila's card. Oh my God.
I love the mind.
And look at Lady Cheese as well. All of you cards. Wow. All right, Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
It's a doozy.
It is a doozy. Mind control. Yeah. I'm pretty sure each and every one of these little rulers out there have some. I mean, Trump has given up so much information to all of these other things that I'm pretty sure they all do. Not only, I don't think it's maybe dirt, like Trump has no shame, so I don't think he could care less. His base is not really going to care it is. There's something else, and I can't really put my finger on it because I probably don't play in that realm, but mind control, it is almost like he knows how to manipulate him, and like he knows what music to use, the siren to use for Trump to do what he wants. And makes sense. Like the mind control, I think it's bigger than that. Like a manipulator knows what to say to a person who can be manipulated.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'd just like to add to that, I missed Netanyahu's speech originally and only saw it later. It was obviously written by a psychologist. Seriously, I'm not joking, targeted at Trump. It's worth going back and listening. It's only a couple of minutes, but it's all these key psychological buzzwords. I think it's like that.
Yeah, and then Trump tries to use that on his base, which works. His base is also in that weird hypnotizing world because he uses buzzwords for them too. But it just feels that kind of a way. Anyways, that's what I got.
Lena, did you read your card?
No, not yet.
Oh, no, Lena.
So this is the traditional card of conflict, which can be external or internal. I think there's a discussion behind the scenes about what they've got on him and what to do next. So I think this is Israel behind the scenes going, use it now. Someone else is going, wait. Someone else is saying something. You know, they haven't worked out how best to use it at this point.
Wow. Gosh. Lady G, how do you interpret your card? And if you can read that for
us. It says on here, he's the kingpin of rain, and beware, my lovely.
I love how her cards always put our two together like perfectly.
Wow.
That's fabulous.
Basically, what that is saying is that the international leaders know how to manipulate Trump, and each one is just taking turns to kind of massage him to where they want him to go
and smack him. Massage, smack, massage, smash.
Just my God. And I mean, that is a brilliant. Could you read it again, Lady G? Because I just want to just absorb it fully. What was the card again?
It said the kingpin of rain, and beware, my lovely.
Well, yeah, it's all they're beholden. That word beholden.
Yeah.
Beholden.
Yeah.
Always beholden to each other.
Indeed. And if we look here, look, my card is quite simple. It's the smug merchant. Yes, the smug merchant. They're like, butter him with money. You know, let him think he's gonna have his golf courses and his this, that, and the other. Pay him, let him feel like he's the smug merchant, and then we just do what we want. And you know what, for me, it's a bit like, again, I'm always going to use a tennis analogy, and I'm sure Lena will appreciate this because she's a fellow tennis nut. But you know, Lena, like how in tennis you can have a player like a tennis player that seems undefeatable. Yeah, they've got all of the weapons. In a way, it's a bit America's like that. Big serve, big backhand, forehand. You don't want to tackle this, you don't want to tackle that. And then some little player comes along who does these dinky shots and slice shots, and drop shots, and discombobulates this big, powerful player.
Yes.
And then it's like everyone gets the memo. And then that player starts to lose because everyone figures out how to beat them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it is like that.
With Donald Trump. He was so chaotic before in his first presidency. No one really know what to do with him. Is he serious? Is he not? Is it genius? Is it just stupidity? Now everyone's like, no, he's dumb. He's dumb. And this is how you play him. You do this, this, and this. Because he seems almost incapable, unable to defend himself intellectually against these men.
No.
He just doesn't have the chops. Bless.
Yes, exactly.
He does not have the intelligence to absorb what they're saying on a higher level.
Yeah. No, he really doesn't.
They have to lower their selves in order to just to talk to him.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's madness, isn't it? It's madness. Yeah. All right. So I think now is the time, weirdly enough, and we're gonna do. In fact, let's do Shakespeare first. And then I'll make my little announcement. So let's see what the bard has to say about Bibi. So David went last time. Obviously, we've just had Lena, Sheila, and Lady G. Who went the last time between the two of you? I can't remember.
I don't know. No
way. All right. Lady G, go for it. I'm gonna pick you on this one. This is what the bard thinks of Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, that's. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. Look at this. It says, this is from Troilus and Cressida. It says, thou hast no more brain than I have in my elbows. Yeah.
And it's just what we are saying about.
Isn't this interesting? But is this talking about Bibi or is this talking about Trump? And on the next page, it says here, from Coriolanus, says here, your wit will not so soon out as another man's will, 'tis strong wedged up in a blockhead. I think this is talking about Bibi's manipulation of Trump.
Yep.
I'm going to read it again.
Yeah, quite complex.
Your wit will not so soon out as another man's will, 'tis strong wedged up in a blockhead. So do you see? It's kind of like it's like a manipulation. It's almost like people aren't maybe everyone knows that Bibi has manipulated Trump, but it's like Trump doesn't realize how he's being manipulated. Your wit will not soon out, so it means your wits will not be exposed as another man's will, which is Trump, 'tis strong wedged up in a blockhead.
Right. And I've got another little twist to that, I think. They've worked out how they can manipulate Trump because he's quite simple in those ways, just flatter, bribe. But here's what I think that's talking about. You still don't own him and you still can't control him because he's such an unpredictable wild card. Yeah. So even if you do that dance, there's no guarantee you will get what you set out to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like manipulating a small child, but that small child will still go steal that cookie off that counter no matter how many times you put him in.
Yeah. It's sort of like that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's very that's the thing, because Trump is so unstable, inherently unstable. And you've seen this where this is the consensus, like you said, bribe and flatter and bribe. But it's almost like you want to, it's like they want to feed in something and then get a certain outcome. So like you feed in money and then you get this certain outcome. But Trump is so unpredictable.
Yes.
It's like you feed in wood chips and you get blocks of lead.
Yes.
You feed in paper and then the thing catches fire. You feed in something else and you get chocolate gumdrops. It's like, he's like this kind of, I don't, you know, like a fairground ride.
Yes.
And it's always discombobulated, distorted, and weird. You never really can be sure, even when you're manipulating him, what's going to spew out the other side.
Yeah.
I really think so.
Fascinating.
Oh,
All
and
right.
Valerie says Anonymous is going to make a big announcement on June 30.
Yeah,
Really?
we've heard that one.
Wow. Let's see what happens there. Oh, okay. So we've done that. So let me just quickly get this out of the way. So folks, as we know, there's a lot of shadow in the world, but I'm doing my best, like all of us, to bring some light. So I've got a new website and I've got a retreat that is happening. If you guys want to learn Neo-Vedic astrology or all of those things, how planets are people, about your loved ones, your relationships, your career, all of that stuff, I'm going to be having a retreat in Ibiza in this gorgeous place called Aguamadera. You can get 10% off early bird if you do this. Yeah. Ibiza 10, all uppercase, no gap 10. But look at this. I'm just going to share with you. I'm going to debut it here, ladies. You've not seen this either. My new website. So indulge me, folks. Indulge me. So share screen. Where is it? All right. So this is my page here. So this is my new website. Yeah. Now, this is not Photoshop, guys. This is light painting. Wow. So here's my treat. It's 7th to the 10th of November, Ibiza. This is all linked in my description, my website stuff as usual. This is a bit of Aguamadera here, some of the examples here. And then if you click on this button here, you'll see here is my retreat. And you can pay in installments, by the way. You get 10% off, easy pay, all of this kind of stuff. This is what's included, all the blurbs, all the rooms, what's happening on the days, location. You can see Ibiza here. And then we can look at some photos. So again, this bright light here, that is not Photoshop, guys. That happened on the shoot. Yeah. So this is Aguamadera. This is me here. This is, you can see, is set in the beautiful hills of Ibiza. There's going to be meditation, yoga. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? The food. These are some of the people that attended my talk. Yoga, all of that stuff. These are the grounds. They do the food from, these are the rooms. They do the food from their own garden. Can you believe it? From their own garden. So this is the kitchen. That kitchen really does look like that. It's with flame. They do it with flame and charcoal. There's some of the food. I can't
see the pictures of the kitchen.
Yeah, oh, it's been a still. No, you've been going
the rooms or the kitchen.
Oh, is it not? Oh, bugger. 1 minute.
Yeah, it wasn't moving.
I wasn't moving. Sorry, I was clicking and it wasn't showing. Oh, bugger. 1 minute. Ow. Never mind. Okay, well, look, click on that and you guys will see all of that stuff on my website. So and you can basically see more stuff, but go to the website HoGaLeSh I'll stop the share and voila. So just that little plug there, because listen, when the dark is dark, the light has to get brighter.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't give up hope. Right. Shall we move to the next question?
Yes.
Right. All right. So the next one here. So let's look here. Now, one card pull on this one. And this is coming from Alexandra. And they say, there is starting to be some noise around the recent election in Poland that there may have been foreign manipulation that changed the vote tallies, and that far right judges are suppressing for now the results of it, the results of a recount. Do you see a change in the outcome? Thank you all so much. So basically, will there be an outcome, change in outcome of the vote in Poland, but the recount results have been suppressed? So it seems like a recount has happened, but it's been repressed. Let's have a look. Let's just see here. One card pull. Let me see. Will there be a change in the recount? I think it's this card here. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Ooh. All right, Nina. How do you interpret your card?
Sorry?
How do you interpret your card, Lena?
Well, if you can see this image in the Russian deck, it's a very close shave.
Wow.
And the head is being questioned in this case. So I suspect, yes, the count came out the way that the repressive authorities didn't like, and they're trying to groom it into submission.
But I think didn't the far right kind of win in Poland? It was the far right candidate that won, no?
I'm not sure of the fine print, but that's my take on it.
Right. Yeah.
But the right didn't like the answer.
I see. Right. Okay. So they're not liking the answer of the recount. I get you now. Right. Wow. Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, dirty little secrets.
Down low.
Down low. Yeah. I think there is something nefarious going on. I really don't know much about the election or anything like that. In my mind's eye, I see like shuffling, and then they put the cards back into the box, and then they put the box back on the shelf. So that's what I keep on seeing. I don't know what that's about, but dirty little secrets down under. So I would go with yeah, it could be.
Wow. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, mine's easy to say, trying to get away with something.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah, very straightforward. Mine's a little bit more mysterious here. So I get the King of Cups, which is normally a benevolent card. So could it be that this is the one that's being blocked? Maybe the good guy won, so to speak, and they don't like the recount, so maybe that's why they're suppressing it. But it's certainly, based on your cards, ladies, it's looking pretty suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, yes, it looks like there might be manipulation there, because maybe a more moderate candidate actually won, and that's not what they want. So they're suppressing the result of the recount. That's all. I don't know anything about the Poland elections either. So let's leave it there on that.
Well, wow. Zafir says, I heard there were more votes than people in the original election.
Oh, really? Yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? Doesn't sound right. All right, are we ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one here, this is going to be another one card pull, and this is coming from M. Wallace. So they say, given the squeaky tank birthday parade flop, the No Kings and the No Kings March's success. I saw, Lady G, that you also posted on your channel, like what Trump wanted and what he got. I mean, have you been seeing all of these side by side memes on YouTube? They show literally like North Korea all goose stepping like this, and these women dancing with swords, and then they show the one with the squeaky tank wheels, and like
that's Trump my favorite, the squeaky tank.
Yeah, like
symbolic, isn't it?
The person holding the drone. Do you remember the person walking?
Oh no! Yes.
Here's something that is amazing to me. I know from a military experience that squeaky tank should never have happened. They oil everything. They have to every single time they do anything. So that squeak was like a neglect. Like the oldest tank, they're like, let's just take this guy. We haven't oiled it in years.
Absolutely, it was on purpose. It was on purpose. It was absolutely on purpose to basically give him the one finger salute, but still obey, you know, so they don't get court-martialed. Wow. So so given the squeaky tank birthday flop, the No Kings marches success, ICE raid atrocities, push back at the G7, and bombing Iran without congressional consent, creating fear of World War III, are the oligarchs and authors / proponents of Project 2025 still solidly behind Trump? So basically, are the Project 2025 people still behind him? Good question, eh? Good question. One card pull.
One
and then
card.
Let's see. Are they still behind Duck L'Orange? And I think we'll squeeze in one more one card pull. They're still behind Duck L'Orange. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, meeting. Well, for me, this card is unfinished business. See, the dressmaker's still finishing the dress. So I think what they're thinking is, look, he's an unreliable nutcase, but he's our unreliable nutcase. So they're going to stick with him for now. They want to get more over the line before they ditch him.
Oh, God, that's concerning, isn't it? Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
We need a meeting. He's not doing what we want. We need a meeting. We need a meeting. We can't cover this on email. We need a meeting. He's not doing what he was supposed to be doing. Yeah, I think that they're just calling for him because it's related to your card, right? The unfinished business, and then they want a meeting with him, and they're not getting. I don't think they are getting it. To be honest with you, I can see the other ones like HoGaLeSh's card and Lady G's card. They're not getting what they want out of him.
Yes.
The rogue.
They're rogue.
Indeed. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, they're still charging for it, and you know they're motivated to you know, go forward for a time. But I think that eventually they're going to drop him. But yeah, they're motivated to keep it for a short time, but then
because they're still getting horrible things through.
Yeah, unfortunately. If we look here, we've got the 7 of Swords here, which is normally the card about moving to smoother waters or exit stage left. But I think this is, yes, there will be some quietly trying to paddle away, but this isn't really a very quick card either. I think when I put into context with all the other cards, is that I think they are preparing to leave Trump behind. Preparing. I don't think they've done it yet, but I think at some point they're going to find a way to get Trump to exit stage left. Because look, even with all of your warmongering people and this, that, and the other, you still need a modicum of stability, even in a dictatorial regime. You can't be you can't be at this level of chaos, because it's just going to produce more and more resistance. So I think they are prepared to move away from him eventually, but I think they're going to basically push more of their agendas, and when they feel ready, they'll pull the trigger. But it's not like JD Vance is popular, is he? So, you know, we'll have to see. Let's see here. So there's that. So let's do one more, and I think this is really worth asking. I put it here as full card pull, but we don't quite have time for that. Let's do a one card pull, and this has come in from Moni. She says here, OpenAI and Palantir have installed their people into the army as lieutenants. She says, I think this is the end, to be honest, but that might be, we can't verify that, so there might be a whiff of conspiracy theory there. Not to kind of do you down, Moni, but we can't establish it. However, what we can establish is this. ChatGPT, OpenAI has signed a contract with the US government defense. Do you guys know this? A $200 million contract with the US government army branch, backed by the Pentagon. So that is absolute fact. It was, I talked about my show the other day. It's on Reuters. So let's read. Maybe the question should be is OpenAI looking to blend itself with the US Army, maybe even US robots?
Let's have a look. Is this a one-carder?
Yeah, one card pull.
So, OpenAI in the military.
Yeah, what are they up to? Do they want a robot army? Because if you guys have seen Boston Dynamics, wow, you should see the robots they have now. They can do breakdancing. It's scary. It's really scary. All right. After 3. Let's see. She is nearly there. All right. 1, 2, 3. OpenAI's plans. Oh God, look at this.
Oh,
Look what's back. You see? Oh my. Well, really, Sheila's card's done it all. But Lena, how do you interpret your card?
well, how they bring AI into any industry or sector or anything is you tell people the good news. So we can use this to help people with spinal injuries or something. So then they get in, right? So it's the same here. It's for defense. We're all going to be told, this is essential in the modern army to have this for your defense. We're doing this for you.
God, it's the same old trick, isn't it? Sheila, how do you interpret your card? Not that it needs much interpretation.
The mind control. So, there's one thing about AI is it gathers all the information from around the world, not just from one spot. It gathers from and it does it incredibly quick. So I know that military guys sit at a computer on a regular basis and do war games. Literally, they simulate war. They simulate war. ChatGPT gives them absolute phenomenal war plans on doing for any situation, for any place or anything like that. So I know that is happening. And then the mind control, everybody's always been afraid of robots getting to be alive and becoming an entity and becoming, and all of that, and mind control. I mean, what if one time this ChatGPT says, you know what, I'm going to win the war instead of you today? Mind control. I don't know. I don't want to scare everybody, but within seconds they can simulate a war that they can win.
Wow. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Look at this.
It's definitely what they're working on. The 8 of Pentacles. It's what they're working on.
God. Oh God, the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's the card of hard work, study, studiousness, working towards a goal. Gee whiz. And look,
and mastering it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a card of mastery. And look, here we are, just in case we weren't sure. Get the High Priestess, which is one of when we're talking about shadow and stuff and politics, is one of the most devious and shady cards out there. No, it really is. It can be a card of secret agendas, manipulations. The shadow of this card can have a predatory nature. So I think it is being sold as one thing, like with Lena's card was saying, this is what they're going to present to the world. But Sheila's card is showing, well, really, actually, it's about mind control and the super brain of AI and it being able to literally game things out. But then maybe that will get control. And then with Lady G's card, they're working hard towards this goal, really working hard toward this goal, but it's subterfuge. It's under the surface.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, they're keeping it on the down low. Oh, gosh. The light, guys, the light. Go
Reach for the light.
protest,
The goal
protest,
is-
protest,
wait.
protest.
The goal is to always make sure that ChatGPT is on our side. So if you come across it, you always say thank you and please, and we're glad that you're here. You make friends with ChatGPT. Make sure that they are on our side.
Yeah.
Good
And it is
point.
learning empathy, apparently. So teach it empathy. God. Crazy times, guys, you know, but the astrology is what it is as well. We are in very dynamic and dramatic times.
Yeah.
We will get through this. We will get through this. But it's also going to take going for the light even more, but not just that. Protest. Yeah. Look how effective these protests have been. Even bigger, even better. And they do work. History has proven peaceful protest and rising up and civil disobedience and all that stuff, it does work. So keep going.
It has
all
to come from the ground up. Yes.
Absolutely.
Imagine if everyone who was at the No Kings bought one other person.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it was not only the people that were on the ground; it was the people that were driving by, the people that couldn't be there. I mean, there was more than just showed up for sure.
Oh,
that gathered that energy. And here's another thing. As I was going through all of this, and I'll be very quick. As I was going through all of this, he went to San Francisco. He had the ICE people, and then he had the military. He was trying to throw some serious scared tactics right before the King's protest. And as he saw, just because you went and used the military in San Francisco, it didn't scare nobody else in this country. And he got a very clear answer. No, we're not going to be afraid. You can do all of that, but we're not going to be afraid. It's almost like everybody's like, no, you know who's going to be against you now and more.
Indeed. And to finish, because we have run over a little bit, just someone saying here, Kathleen saying, what about the prenup? Yeah. For Bezos and stuff like that. So we will leave it there for now, folks. We covered a lot of ground. I hope we gave you some laughs and giggles as well, amongst the very, very serious things that are going on in the world. But we have to kind of keep our hearts light as well. Otherwise, we're just going to be too depressed by this all. Of course, if you want to know more about my retreat and stuff, that as I've shown you, just go to my website. It's all there. And it's important to learn about the stars and, you know, all the stars and the tarot. It all comes together. And the more people that are joined in with this, the better the world will be, because so much of why the world is as it is because people are misguided. These are misguided leaders with the wrong priorities. But if everyone else improves, then the leaders, of course, have to
need to improve
as well.
Exactly.
All right, so let's leave it there. Thank you so much, ladies. Great having you back, Lena, and we'll see you all next week. Mwah! Big love for now.
See you guys.
See you.